Do you wake up one morning telling yourself, you know what, I'm going to really go out there and risk it all and just do my best to achieve what I wanted to? Or do you wake up feeling like crap because you wish you could have done something sooner rather than later? Today, let's talk about taking risk or living with regret. It's something super important that we need to talk about. So sit back and relax and join us on today's conversation right here on the Bump Podcast.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Bump Podcast. I'm your host Shamir, here with my co-host and beloved brother Nabil.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another week of our beloved podcast, the Bump
awesome
Podcast.
The best podcast in all of the podcasts in existence, which I think there's over 800,000 podcasts right now in the world.
And we're number one.
And we're number one. You know, we might not have the followers, but we're number one anyways. We're just trying to stay positive. Anyways, thank you guys for supporting. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for the support that you guys have been giving us.
Yeah,
Today,
definitely.
We are going to be talking about
Taking risks or living with regret.
There you go. I really forgot just now what it was.
Brain
but
fart.
anyways,
He was up there in the charts of being the number one podcast out of the 800,000 or whatever he just mentioned. So his brain was all the way in the clouds.
Yeah, let's just use that excuse. It's just been a very, very busy week, very hectic. Nabil, I heard you were in a car crash.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What happened today? Let's talk a little bit. What's going on?
I didn't get into some crazy accident or nothing, I swear. What ended up happening was I was coming out of a street to get to this guy's house, and then and then I see like a lady on her bike or whatever, and so you know I was over the little crosswalk lane, if you will. So I was like, okay, let me back up a little bit. So I backed up. Boom!
Oh, man.
I was like,
you whiplash slightly.
It's just, man, I was like, out of all these trials and tribulations we've been getting lately, like why another one? I'm sick of it. So I got out the car. This dude comes out and whatever. He's like, oh, man, thank God you didn't do nothing to the car. You know, I'm trying to get this car paid off. A complete jalopy of a car.
Oh, man.
Okay. I mean, it was a hoopty, to say the least. Jeez. It was just not. So I was looking at the you know, he hit me from behind, but it was kind of my fault. And so when I kind of moved forward a little bit after the girl on the bike, you know, was just kind of like, and then she, you know, wheels away. I look at the front of his car and I'm like, dang, there's a lot of damage there. But I know that wasn't me because I'm looking at my rear end of the car and just, like nothing happened.
Nothing happened. Oh, Lord.
So I was like, oh, thank you, God. This is great.
Right.
You know, dodged the bullet with this one. He's like, yeah, you know, thank God you didn't hit my car because I'm trying to pay it off. And I was like, dang, you're trying to pay this off? Like, how much does this car cost you, man? Like,
yeah, like, what?
Good thing was that, nobody got hurt. I was embarrassed. But, you know, things happen. Yeah. But we're alive, so that's what good. Matters.
I'm tank topping today. You know, I'm feeling good about myself. Ain't been working out lately, but, you know, I'm feeling good about myself, though.
I'm feeling good. I won't say necessarily about my body, but I feel good.
Yeah. So do you have the significance or anything that you want to relate to today about taking risks?
Yeah.
Or
what does it mean for you guys to take risks?
Yeah.
Or living with regret?
Are you guys living in regret right now?
That is a question. The question. I know me personally a little bit. Like I wish I would have actually what I'm doing now. I wish I would have done in my early 20s.
Right.
You know, so that now that I'm in my early 30s, I feel like I would have been established, but I wasn't mature enough at the time. I felt like I didn't really have the right guidance or the right push. And if I was being pushed, let's say motivated, right, it just wasn't in a healthy way.
That's a podcast I want to do one day where it's like the standards that society has for certain things. Like sometimes they'll be like, oh, you're in your 20s, you're supposed to be a grown man and mature. Some people matured in different time frames, you know what I'm saying? Like some people grow very young in their teens, they're already freaking grown adults, men and women
because they had to be.
Then you have freaking adults that are 30-40 years old and still don't even know what they want to do with their life. So you know, I think that's why I don't really criticize anybody for feeling any type of way, because at the end of the day everybody has their own life to live and their own little path,
their journey, their own journey to go through, and it's not going to be the same. And a lot of people like to, I mean, we live in a world where comparison is huge, so that tends to be one of them, whether it's somebody comparing you or whether it's yourself comparing to others.
For sure.
And that's a big no-no.
Yeah.
Okay. We all have our own journey, so we need to be aware of that.
Yep.
The meaning of taking risks, proceed in the knowledge that there is a chance of something unpleasant occurring.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if I want to add on to that, it's literally just us getting out of our comfort zone in order to be able to achieve whatever goals or dreams we have.
Yeah.
You know, whatever we set our minds to. You know,
I think one of the toughest things about taking risks for anybody is the uncertainty. Is the grass greener on the other side? Does that make sense?
And sometimes it's not right away. Because the way I see it, for the grass to be greener, you need to be able to water it, to nurture it.
Sometimes, sometimes the land is actually empty, and you need to build it. You need to
plant
create
the seeds
it for sure. Yeah,
make it grow beautifully. So yeah, that's something, and it's a season that we're in. So when we were talking about, you know, what's the next episode of the podcast, I went ahead and just brought it up because I had multiple ideas already jotted down, and he was like, yeah. And then he was telling me some stuff that he's working on. I'm like, oh, so this is super relevant. We need to speak about it now while we're going through it. Oh, yeah. And then once we look back, we'll be like, oh, yeah. Yeah. You know?
I have a sheet here. I'm not going to really show it. I mean, I'm kind of like glancing right here. It's my little notes that I'm doing for a new startup business with my business partner. We're definitely going to do some venturing here in Orlando. Yeah. We've been weeks already planning about this. Again, it's like one of the podcasts we did recently of you know, how we sometimes don't want to take risks because it's like, man, like, what if we fail? What if we...
That is usually the initial thought for everybody.
For sure. And then also, in one of our recent podcasts, we also said, like, hey, you know, we're overthinkers. We want things to be perfect. And again, that's like when we started this podcast, we had so much planning, so many ideas, so many things that we wanted to kind of like, we had so many standards. We wanted top tier equipment. We wanted, you know, great ideas to be written down. We had over 60 to 100 because between his ideas and mine, there's at least 100 different topics that we wanted to talk about that we still haven't talked about. Yeah. And some of them have already been done. You know, so there was just so much within the planning process that we sometimes were just not doing much about it. We weren't executing because we wanted to continue to, well, let's wait for this. Let's wait. No, just start. You know, take that risk to learn, because this is one of the main laws of taking risks, is that it's a learning process, and there it's a trial and error process. So as you go, you have to try, see if this works, this doesn't work. Hey, this door closed. Okay, well, let's go to this next one, you know. Mm-hmm. And part of this business that we're doing is literally like canvassing towards local businesses, and whether we're corporations or you know, mom and pop shops or whatever, you know, it's definitely for all types of businesses.
Yes.
And you know, we have to go out there and confront the customer and say, hey, this is our product, this is what we want to do, this is our company, what we believe in, this is our mission statement, you know, and we've got all this down. You know, I've literally taken weeks to and late nights in order to build it to what it is. Just yesterday alone, we were in a meeting with this company that does the product that we're trying to promote. So we sat down with them, talked. It was very productive. You know, now we're working out pricing and all that stuff. So definitely, it's an adventure. It's very awesome. There's a lot of speed bumps currently as well, because we are starting something that's really not big in Orlando, especially in the scale we're trying to do it. So we're just innovating, and at this point, sometimes in innovation, you have to not only think outside the box, but also put standards as like, okay, well, these laws aren't here, so we're going to create them and we're going to start them, and then everybody else that makes competition down the road has to go with what we created. You get what I'm saying? So that's another huge risk that we're taking, where it's like, we don't know if it's going to work 100%. We've already surveyed people, and people are like, yeah, we're willing to do these things, but at the same time, it's like, are they really going to sign up when it's really down, you know, time to sign up for a membership or whatever, right? So it's definitely, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling positive.
Yeah, as you should.
I have felt overwhelmed on a lot of things too, where it's like, Should I? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes,
Yes,
no,
no,
yes. You know,
Definitely not.
it's a Grinch quote. If you guys have seen the Grinch, you know, so it's just a yes, no kind of thing where, you know, I doubt myself sometimes in certain ideas. So then I run them through certain people around me that I know are positive and will give good constructive criticism. Again, we also always say that in our podcast, that we should have our surroundings help us build each other, as opposed to having people that are just, you're dragging their cross with you. You know, that makes no sense. So that's just where I'm at with the business right now. But
Yeah. No, and just to talk about the regret side of things, the meaning of it, feel sad, repentant, or disappointed over something that has happened or been done, especially a loss or missed opportunity. In this case, we're kind of talking more about missed opportunities and things of that nature. You know, he's having his whole things right now, and I'm certainly having mine, you know, doing the whole acting production stuff while also trying to balance family time, while also trying to, you know, make ends meet month to month. You know, I haven't necessarily had a steady job since the previous job that I had. So, you know, it's been super tough navigating that. And so, you know, things are slowly but surely getting better. Right. But we have to keep going. We can't stop. If we stop, then we'll never achieve, you know, we'll never be able to get to the finish line. You know, and then start with whatever comes next. You have to keep pressing on. You have to keep going. The Olympics just ended. I mean, if you guys want to be inspired in some way, shape, or form, like, look at those athletes. Those athletes from all across the world come together to literally compete. They had 4 years to prepare. And in those 4 years, they probably, you know, fell down a whole bunch of times and messed up, but they kept on going. Right. Because they know that their end goal was to get that gold medal.
And there's people that were prepared more years than that too. That
absolutely.
Never participated in. Yeah, like I saw a guy that it took him 13 years to win the gold medal. I don't know if it was wrestling or what other.
I know Puerto Rico won one of the medals for wrestling.
Yeah, and the Cuban won a gold one. This guy in one of the weight classes, he won gold, and he's won like 5.
Oh wow!
In wrestling, he's the most that's done in wrestling gold medals.
Jeez.
Yeah, Cuban, and it's pretty cool. But
that's dope.
Definitely, it takes time. It takes dedication.
It takes years, as you can tell.
Yeah, I wanted to say this real quick. It says why it's important to take risks. Avoid regrets. Regret for inaction is more profound and long-lasting than regret for action. Number 2, personal growth. Engaging in new challenges builds confidence, broadens skills, and enhances adaptability. Again, you know, definitely. Going through the trial and error situations is what builds you and builds the things around you, whether you're doing a business, whether you're doing a career in something else, or just any situation that's in your life. You have to understand that these things will build you in order for you to not go through them again. And if you go through them again, you already have that built-on armor that you're like, okay, I could go through these things, you know?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I got multiple things here. Whether it's better to take risk or live with regret depends on the situation and the type of risk. Taking risk can lead to growth, creativity, and new opportunities, while living with regret can be a powerful motivator. And we'll touch base on that momentarily. And different benefits of taking risk is kind of more or less what he mentioned. There's the growth, there's the confidence, the learning. Even if a risk doesn't go as planned, you can learn from the experience. For example, you might learn about more. You might learn more about yourself or what you want, and like, let's say, a partner, a significant other, or whatever it might be. You know, just kind of keep that in mind. You can learn from those. Let's call it pros and cons, kind of like our last episode of trying to take a risk, and if you fail, you know, failure does not mean it's the end of whatever it is you're trying to go for. What failure means is you weren't prepared enough, or it wasn't your time to achieve said goal. You know, and that's okay. So you learn from your mistake. What mistakes did you make that you can make sure you apply it going forward? Think about that for a second. You'll feel a sense of accomplishment. Taking risks can be exhilarating and give you a sense of accomplishment. Reflection. Regret can be this is a reflection based off the benefits of living with regret. It can be a motivator that encourages you to reflect on your past decisions and learn from your mistakes, which I just mentioned. Then, of course, pushing yourself. You can use regret as a tool to push yourself to be better in the future. There's this guy that I saw. His name is Dan Pink. Right? He's author of several influential books. He has his own podcast, all that other jazz. You guys could look him up and whatnot. And it's interesting because he likes to explore the power that regret has to motivate us both in our personal lives and in our professional ones. Pink believes that regret can be a powerful motivator because it allows us to reflect on our past decisions and learn from our mistakes.
Right.
He argues that we should embrace our regrets and use them as a tool to push ourselves to be better in the future. And I thought about that. I had to read it a couple of times. I'm just, trying to process it like, okay. And I thought about it. And after I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I completely agree. I concur with that because that's exactly how I felt. I mentioned in the beginning of this episode today that I kind of have felt a little regret because I wish I would have done what I'm currently doing in my 20s. And I sort of did, but it was just kind of half-baked. It wasn't fully committed. It was more based out of fear, based out of FOMO, fear of missing out, different things. And I felt like I didn't really have a good support system. Now my support system is existent. It's there. It's a good amount of people that support me, you included. I wake up every day like, okay, now what can I do today to get one step closer? And I just try to live like that day by day so that I don't live with regrets, but rather, even though I'm seeing that things might not go my way at my timing or anything like that, because it doesn't work like that, it doesn't go at our time.
Right.
I am grateful and I count my blessings knowing that I'm alive another day and I have another opportunity to take one more step forward, rather than just staying stagnant or just falling all the way back behind and not achieving anything, and seeing other people achieving what I know I could achieve if I just put my time and my effort into it.
As you were explaining Mr. Pink's analogies, it brought me up my good friend. His father passed away last year, and before his father passed away, he was owner of different restaurants in town and whatnot. You know the story, but my friend to this day has lived with the regret that his father literally asked him, hey, do you want to stay with these restaurants, with this line of restaurants, and you continue to run them? At the time he was working with his father before his dad passed away, but because he was so involved in drugs and in the dope and just in a different lifestyle. Again, this was over 10 years ago, so he was way younger. He was 18, 19, 20 in that age range. So he didn't have the mindset that he has now, but he lives with regret because he's like, man, I had it so made.
Sure did.
I had a path and the little bit of resources that his dad had that came from coming from South America to the United States. He had very limited resources and moved to Miami, made a business, and then moved to Orlando, made even more businesses and became wealthy, and then my friend now having to start from zero to create his own businesses, which he actually opened up a franchise recently here in Orlando. And, now he feels like, well, that process of regret kind of gave him that push as well to push to work for his own things as opposed to getting everything handed to him. Because sometimes when we get handouts like that, we don't value this. It's like,
it's true.
You could give me something and I'll probably use it that much more because you gifted it to me than something that I work so hard for. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say if you buy me a pair of sneakers, I'll use them like every day. For two reasons. Because I like them, and two, because you gave them to me so you could see them, that they're on me, that I'm going to make good use of them, right? But then it's like if I pay $200 for that same pair of sneakers, it took me $200. Like I'm gonna just leave them, for special occasions. You get what I'm saying? So
that's me with the Jordans you guys got me for Christmas. Like,
for sure.
I don't want to get them dirty. Why are we like that with Jordans? I just don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Or just sneakers in general. There's people that are way worse too. That like sneakerheads that just are terrible. But at the end of the day, you just got to look at it for what it is sometimes and be like, well, is it? It's not that like, hey, don't take the handouts. It's more like these circumstances of regret and these situations that people go through sometimes just helps them build the character at the end of the day. It's what we've been saying this whole podcast today.
100%.
And we must learn from these regrets, though. We can't just keep on doing the same thing and being okay with it, because that's where the error comes in, where we're not learning from our mistakes. We're not learning from those regrets. And again, I won't say it is okay to live with regrets, but just learn from them. Honestly, it's just, build off them and then continue and show other people. That's another thing. Spread the wealth. If you have some type of knowledge that and you see beforehand that a family member, someone that you care about, might go through that same situation, if you could help them avoid it, even though sometimes people got to go through a learning process, which I might say that too. But if you could avoid it, do that out of the kindness of your heart, because
correct.
Again, maybe that person doesn't need to learn from that situation, but maybe down the road they're going to go through situations that you can't avoid it either. So it could go either way. I just am the type of person I like to give. I like to make sure that like, damn, let's not make this young buck go through everything I had to go through, or this older person go through the situation that I've been through a long time ago. And
exactly.
That's just where I'm at. And taking risks, it's a beautiful thing. I most of my life I've taken risks. Honestly, I haven't been afraid to take risks. Like that's honestly,
I was the opposite.
Hey, and that's fine, because that gives you an understanding that you could come from the same parents, but siblings will always be two different people, as well as the parents and everybody else. We are all individuals, and we all are different. We're built differently. Just because we come from the same blood doesn't mean anything, honestly. The only thing it means to me is, the love and the power of family and stuff like that, things like that, but not, who we are as people. I mean, we're always going to have differences and stuff like that, and that was the challenges these past couple of weeks that we said in one of the recent podcasts, like 1 or 2 weeks ago, that, I was going through family situations and things occur. Yeah. I mean, we aren't perfect. I mean, anybody that says, oh, we don't have problems in our family, like, that's not true. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and if there really isn't, then something ain't right with you.
Yeah, something going on.
Because that means you're just not living life the way you should. Anytime you have pushback on whatever it is, whether it's family dynamics, whether it's career, whether it's school, whether it's a project you're trying to do, whatever the heck it is, you got to have some sort of opposition. Why? Because it's going to shape you into a more experienced person, a more mature person, and a person determined to making sure you get to that other side successful, in the sense of not necessarily monetarily speaking, but rather you learned from those oppositions, and then the next time another opposition comes, you're ready to face it, rather than just like, oh no, I can't do this, I'm not ready for it, prepared for it, I'm not mature enough for it. There's a Bible verse that basically says, and I'm not saying it for verbatim because I don't remember it like that, but it basically says that God has equipped us with all that we need for each day. Right. So if we're well equipped, that means we're already ready to at least start and do what we need to do, and then the rest will fall into place.
For sure.
The more we confront whatever it is we're trying to get accomplished. So that's just some food for thought for you guys.
For sure. Like there's a quote here that says, "To win without risk is to triumph without glory."
Yeah.
Again, we've said this in so many podcasts too, where we have, what can I say? You can win as much as you want. Anybody could win, but in winning, what do you really gain? Nothing. I mean, I still have yet to learn from winning. Sometimes, though, actually, let me reiterate this, because I've been thinking about lately the way things are going in my life and how successful they might be very soon. Things that I can learn to say is that you always must keep your thoughts in check and always stay humble, because sometimes certain people say is, oh, money changes you, or this changes you, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that if you keep your thoughts in check, because I mean there is a lot of people that I've seen throughout time. It's like we were talking to Matt Skyler the other day, and how the famous guy he knows it has
doesn't
changed.
really talk to him and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's super busy. I mean, I don't expect him to.
It don't matter though. To me,
if
you
you're a
have
close
some
homie,
time. You have some time, and I'll tell you when. You have some time when you're in the can, taking a dump. Right. You're scrolling on that phone, guaranteed. Yeah. Hit up your homies. Hit up your family members. There's no excuse. You know what I'm saying?
On the couch sitting or something.
Oh, absolutely, man. And you're just chilling. Just hit up somebody. Hey, listen, I'm checking in on you. How you doing? That is, but if they matter to you.
How many? Yeah, but like, I mean, the busier I get, at least, like I've noticed I have less time to, sometimes I don't even want to touch the phone, because as I'm on the road and like people are texting me or calling me, or like you saw me when you came in earlier, I'm on a business call and stuff. Like, you don't even want to touch the phone sometimes anymore.
That's true. Like, that is.
So like, it gets to the point that you're just like, it's not that you don't care for people, and I'm not saying, hey, I'm gonna forget about people, but it's more like
it can happen.
Be a lot of situations, but I do understand your point too. Yes, if you care about somebody and that's your homie, and you ran high school, college, or a very long lifetime with this person,
you started your career with that person being involved, so it's just like
that too. Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody thinks different, but again,
of course, that is true.
I think that's the point of the conversation too, is that as we progress, we have to stay humble. We have to pay attention of our feelings and how we go about things. Because again, sometimes I see LeBron, and I respect LeBron, but over there in Paris the other day, there was a kid that it went viral that he was trying to take a picture with him, and he's just like, stand back. Like, but then you have like 1,000 people. Well, to be fair though,
they were literally in front of a car. Right. So it's just what he could have done to handle it better was just like, okay, let's get out of the way. First off, where's your parents? But secondly, like, let's get out of the car's way. Let's go to the sidewalk. Because once he got to the sidewalk, that's when he just started dancing with. It's like, bro, you couldn't have taken a picture with your fan.
Yeah, but you want to dance. Yeah, these people are what make you. He probably bought like 100 pairs of your shoes, bro. So he put a couple $1,000s in your pocket. It don't matter if you make $1 billion or $1 million or 1,000, bro. This person is supporting your hustle.
But I feel like that's how a lot of sports players are. Not all of them, but a lot of them, more in the NBAs where I've seen it.
That's where they were showing Kobe Bryant too. Like, we miss Kobe Bryant taking selfies with his fans, because he would never deny it. You would not see him push off. Like, you would see people like literally rush onto him, and he'd be like,
God bless him. I mean, because if somebody pushes me, like, kind of gets in my space without asking permission, it's just like, well, hold on now. Give me a second.
Yeah, you gotta, not shoving me, but like, if I see that you're approaching me just for a picture, and it's like, bro, like,
can I take your picture or whatever?
And at the end of the day, I'm not scared of people. Like, some of these people are like, oh, it's a safety hazard. Like, somebody could just come up and stab them. And
that is true too.
It's like, okay,
and
but guess what? Yeah, but you know what? At the end of the day, I ain't afraid of that. And if I have fans and people that support me, bro, again, this simple business right now, I'm looking for customers. If it gets to the point where customers are coming to me at that point, am I gonna be a piece of crap and just act like they never really supported my hustle? Or they were looking for my business.
Business is business. I mean,
but what I'm trying to say is that if this kid, let's say if he's a diehard fan, has gone to games, has traveled just to go see a LeBron play. This could be many factors. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're acting like that, bro. Like, I'm sorry. That's just. Sometimes I have mixed feelings. I have a love-hate relationship with LeBron James.
Yeah, I mean,
I really do, and it's just like. I love a lot of things about him, but there's certain things that I'm just like, and again, he's not perfect. I'm not trying to bash him and be like, bro, you're a piece of crap and you're a terrible human being.
But certainly treat your fan. And he's a kid. Like, you probably broke his heart there. It's just like, wow, well, screw LeBron. I'm going to be a Steph Curry fan instead.
Exactly.
Which Steph Curry is the man.
Steph is definitely.
He's a man.
I mean, he saved the game too, because he did a little 3-pointer at the end there to win the gold.
He was nasty.
Yeah, no, but you know what game was really good? The women's championship, bro. They were literally tied. They would go up by 2 points, tied, and they were just tying the whole game. And I'm like, bro, France might just take it too. And the French chick threw a 3-pointer, and I think they only won by 1 point. I'm like, if this woman would have gotten fouled, they would have tied the game. Because that chick was a sharpshooter. Whoever her name was, I forgot what her name was.
Yeah.
But that shot that last straight from France in the Olympics, bro. Mean. She is mean and disgusting and super wet with the shot, man. She is fantastic. Yeah, bro. She almost got the gold for France. I was like, bro, these women.
They'll probably try to bring her over.
Or something. I don't know.
Watch.
But you know what the problem is that that's very hard for the women because it's like they don't get paid good over here. If it was the NBA, I'd be like, yeah, hell yeah, they'd bring her over because, I mean, she's fantastic.
Well, we have the women's NBA, and even still, they don't get paid.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's a whole nother topic, by the way.
Yeah,
We're like
sure.
off on a tangent. But
I
agree with you.
Taking risks, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's all I got. I mean,
it's short and sweet, but we felt like it was relatable to what we're going through right now and have been for several months. And we just want to be able to make sure that we're as relatable as possible in terms of your life and what you might be going through. You know, this isn't obviously for everybody because we're all in different stages of our lives, but I'm sure someone out there is going to be able to relate to this and be like, oh yeah, I can definitely relate to this. And whether it's because you're in a relationship with somebody, again, career, school, whatever the heck it is, there's something that I'm sure you're going to get out of this. So I just want to leave y'all with this. So the next time you're faced with a choice to play it safe or to take a leap, remember that risking is often better than regretting. Sure. Life is an adventure. Don't let fear hold you back from experiencing all that it has to offer. I let that affect my life in my 20s. I'm 32. Well, kind of forgot. I just want to stop at 30, to be honest. I'm 32 years old right now, and I'm working really hard to pursue my goals and dreams, and I'm gonna keep going until I have no more breath in my lungs. It's definitely bringing out some gray hairs in me, sure. but I know it's gonna be worth it in the long run. I feel like it's what God has called me to do, and I'm gonna keep going as long as I can with the people that are supporting me, and with whoever is not. Hey, I appreciate it, because now you're just motivating me more and more to keep working as hard as I can. So we hope that you guys continue to work hard during this week. Do not quit. Don't live with regret. You only have one life to live. You got one shot at this, and that's right now. So go for it, and don't look back. For sure. Just make sure you do things correctly. Don't do anything, that'll really derail you from, what you want to do.
So take positive risks, not negative ones that'll hinder you or do anything.
Well, crazy. I mean, yeah, correct. Don't get in trouble. Don't break the law or something. And that's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
But, certainly do things right. Do things intelligently. Do your research. Do your homework. That is why the internet is such a gift, because we can look up things, YouTube videos, things on Google that will lead us to other websites, whatever it might be. Like, the tool's out there. So go search for it.
For sure. So we thank you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the ringle-dingle-dingle. Again, you guys know how I feel about that. Just pay attention when we upload. We're there every Wednesday. We haven't missed. And we're going to continue to do every Wednesday. And hopefully, as time picks up, we do more content for you guys.
Yeah.
So we love you guys as always. Take care, and it'll be until next week.
Have a great week, everyone.